start कीजिए. Now the ninth chapter, that is related to a girl who is only 8 years old. Madam writes the best. As you know, masculine sir is the masculine, madam is the feminine. Writes Savarika. The bus. Riding on the bus or horses or others is very interesting thing. Passengers enjoy themselves by traveling through the bus, by the train, by the planes. It means in all the respect, traveling is very interesting things. So the girl who was only 8 years old was very desirous to know what was happening outside of the world. Although she was living in her village, she didn't know what was happening outside of the village. And there was also a difference. She saw the gaps between our knowing that there is death, our understanding it of it. Now the name of the girl was Waliyamai. Waliyamai was the name of the girl. And her nickname was Wali. Wali was her nickname. Her full name was Waliyamai, but the villagers or her family members used to utter only Wali. It means that was her short name. She was only 8 years old, but she was very, very curious to know about what was happening in the world. His favorite pastime was to stand at the door to see what was happening in the street. She also wanted to watch the people moving hither and thither on the street. She also watched the buses that was going from village to the town, coming from town to the village, filled with the passengers. It was a very, watching of the street become her passion. As there was no playmates of her own age on the street, so she used to stand at her front door, and very it was enjoyable as any of the elaborate games other children played. Watching the street, she got so many feelings. The most attractive things, fascinating things to her was the bus that traveled between her village to the town, to the nearest town. The bus passed through the village once and one came back. Another. The bus, every time, the bus was filled with the passengers. And to see to watch the passenger, this was the source of unending joy for Vali. It means every day she used to watch the buses. So, after some times, gradually, a teeny feeling crept into her head and grew there. She too wanted to ride on the bus. She too wanted to enjoy the ride on the bus. And she was also very curious to know about the town. What was happening in the town? How do the people live in the town? What are their passions? What are the things that can be seen in the town? So she was very desirous to know about it. And so her wish became stronger and stronger. She used to see the passenger getting on. She used to see the passenger getting into the bus and getting off the bus every day. And so this scene, their faces, it means the faces of the passengers were very pleasant, and so she became so desirous to ride on the bus. If one of her friend elaborated the happening that he got during the traveling, she became jealous to him, jealous to him, and uttered the word proudly. Neither of them, it means nor Valley nor his friends, understood the meaning of the proud. Over a month, Valley knew the conversation of her neighbors. They were talking about the fascinating things of the children in the town. And people of her village regularly used to go to the town by bus or come by bus. And they also talked, they means the passengers, the people, talked everything about the town. And with this conversation, she picked up some important things, what was happening in the town. Really, the fare of the bus from her village to the town was very less, but it was only 30 paise. It means the bus fare, bhara, F-A-R-E fare, bhara, bus fare was very less, it was only 30 paise. It was very less. It had no cost. But an experience, she heard one well-dressed man say, but to Valley, who scarcely saw that much money from one month to the next, it seemed a fortune. The trip to the town was only 30 paise and returning for 30 paise. If the person also used to sit on the same bus, they had to come back. They had to pay 30 paise for coming back. It means, it means she could return to her village in the same bus. And the bus would reach to her village 1 o'clock after the afternoon. And other vain thoughts as she calculated the recounting plan. One day spring, the spring season is very pleasant season. You can see blooming of the flower of the different colors, different type of flowers. You can hear the twittering sound of the birds. You can also see the sound of hovering sound of the bees. And weather became very quiet. So one spring morning, afternoon, she decided to go to travel by bus. And so she came to the highway of the bus. And the bus was going on. She shouted to stop the bus. And a teeny hand was raised to stop the bus. The bus slowed down, stopped, and the conductor saw outside, the scene of the outside, taking out her head through the window, that a girl was shouting to stop the bus. She was wanting to get into the bus. When the conductor asked, "Who is the bus?" When he told him that she was. She told that she wanted to go to the town too. But now the bus had come to a stoppage, and conductor said, to stop. As I simply have to go to the town, she said. And she has money for the fare. She also showed the conductor coin that she was capable to go to the town. Okay, that was the first impression of the conductor. And he told her to get on the bus. And the conductor stretched his hand towards her to support her to get on the bus. But she said that she could get on the bus herself. She did not like to take advantage of the others. The conductor was very jolly and short. And he was also fond of joking. And so he said, "Don't be angry with him. Don't be angry with him." There was a seat in front, and the two persons were sitting on the seat. The conductor requested the two persons to make a room for the ladies, madam. It was the slack time of day. And there was only 6 or 7 passengers. They are there in the bus. They all were looking at valley and laughing with the conductor. Anyhow, valley overcome with this shyness, avoiding that everyone was looking at her. And so she moved to an empty seat and sat down. Now the conductor asked her in a smiling face, and he blew the whistle twice. The bus moved on with a loud song. It was a new bus, but outside the painting was gleaming. And so it was very important for the journey of valley that this bus was in a better condition for the next day. Remaining will be for the next day of this chapter.